Today I want to show you guys some tips and tricks and some recipes that Lou and I have been using faithfully while losing our weight. We are down over 100 pounds between the two of us. The first thing up, now I have done a video on a very good tutorial on the making of sauerkraut, and I cannot encourage you strongly enough to go and watch that video. I will list it below. Many people have commented on there that it was one of the best tutorials on sauerkraut that they have seen, and I can't tell you how many pictures I got. People actually sent me pictures of their sauerkraut finished and sitting on the counter doing its 3 to 4 week ferment. So that was kind of exciting to me. But anyway, I wanted to show you today some of the foods that we eat on a daily basis, pretty much, that help us stay satisfied. You've got to be satisfied when you change up the way that you're used to eating and you go to a new way of eating, a new plan, a healthy version of food. And the first thing that has to be at the top of the list, for us anyway, is sauerkraut. It is full of so much goodness. I mean, it's packed full. It is in itself a superfood. You will receive so much probiotic by letting it sit. It's a fermented vegetable. You only need two things. You need cabbage and you need salt. Get a good quality salt, I'm using a pink Himalayan today, but Redmond's real salt is very good. Just a very good salt and a fine salt. That will do really, really well for you. And then you just cut it up. I take the core out and I slice it, as thinly as you want. Some people like to use their food processor, but I don't like that. I like the hand chopped feel. I just like some pieces a little bigger than others, when I'm eating it. So that's what I do. I just spend the day in the kitchen making it, and it's just so delicious. Just chop it up, and then you'll get a big bowl, throw it all in there, and squish it up, and then I just let it sit for a while with a towel, and then I go back in about a half hour later, 15 minutes later, and I squish it up again. I'm trying to work up the juice in it, and that salt is helping to draw out the water in the cabbage. You'll see here in the jar, I got it all the way up to the top. I have added no water, nothing. That is the water that has come directly from the cabbage. That is a weight that I'm putting. It's a really nice thick weight that I put on top, and this sweet little rubber stopper here. It's got a little hole in the top there that lets things escape, but does not let things get in, like dirt or a bug or an ant or anything like that. It's just perfect if you have that. I do have a set below that has 4 weights and 4 of those rubber stoppers, and I'm going to put that below because you are unstoppable if you have those. In the world of sauerkraut making. Now I'm going to wash up my dishes here in front of my nice big warm sunny window. I tell you, I just love standing here and looking out into our forest, our yard. It's just a wonderful thing. I'm still praising God every day for my sunny kitchen window. All right, next up. Now, this is something that I make pretty much regularly, maybe once a month or something. Sometimes these are nuts. These are going to be what I call sugar nuts. But of course, I'm not using sugar. I'm going to be using a sugar replacement. I like to use allulose. I buy an organic 3-pound bag of allulose on Amazon. I can list that below for you as well. It's wonderful. It is just wonderful. It's actually the healthiest sugar substitute that you can possibly buy. It's better than stevia. It's better than, oh my goodness, what's that other one that I used to use for a while? I can't remember right now. I'll put it on the screen here. In my hot cast iron skillet, I put in a good amount, maybe even a half a stick of organic salted butter. You've got to use that. It's so creamy, so rich, so wonderful. And let that just heat up really well. Then just toss the nuts in. I'm using walnuts today. You can use pecans. I love this with pecans. It is so delicious. You can use almonds if you want. I imagine you might even be able to use peanuts if you want to try that. And then I toss in a whole bunch of other things. I really don't have an exact recipe. You just kind of to taste. But I did put a good hearty amount of salt over it. probably about a half a teaspoon to start, or, pinch it with your finger. That's good. Here I'm putting in some of my homemade vanilla. I'm just about down to the bottom here. I have got to go to the ABC store and get my brandy, is it? I forget. It's been so long since I made it. I forget what alcohol it takes to ferment and be vanilla. But here I'm adding my allulose. I added a little bit of cinnamon. And I think if it looks a little dry to you, you can always add even more butter. That will be just fine. But just keep it mixing. And one thing, now you can stop right there, but one thing that I do like to do occasionally is put in about a tablespoon or more of cocoa. And it just makes them a little chocolatey flavored. And that with the butter and the cinnamon and the sugar substitute and the taste of those nuts, I'll tell you what, that is a yummy treat. And when you take it off the fire, give it a test. Give it a taste test. Always give things a taste test. Yes, make sure you haven't oversalted or undersalted, or anything else that you may not taste. If you want a little bit more cinnamon, throw it in right now. A little more cocoa, throw it in right now. Just make sure you don't burn nuts, because they've got oil in them too, and they can burn a little quickly. And this day I decided I needed a little bit more sweetener in there as well. It's all just to touch. Not everybody likes things as sweet as other people, and some people like things very sweet. So, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm trying to work on not liking things so sweet. So I try not to put in too much. Give them a good shake, a good stir, let them sit out for just a little bit, and then toss them right onto some parchment paper, and they will stick in clusters and just be a wonderful, wonderful treat. Next on, oh friends, gosh, I have been waiting to show you this recipe. This is number 3. This is the recipe number 3. If you have ever been to Europe, and if you have ever experienced the European hot cocoa, you are in for a treat, because now you can make it right in your own kitchen. And on top of that, you can make it low carb. You can make it low sugar. You can make it so that you can drink it every single day. It is healthy. It is healthy for you. What I do is take my favorite mug, my favorite little floral coffee mug there. I put about half and half heavy whipping cream, okay? And then I pour that, the amount that I want in my mug, I pour that gently into my pan on the stove. And in there, I put in all sorts of things. I put in right there, I put in my collagen powder. I pour that in. I put in some cinnamon. I put just a pinch, and I mean fleck by fleck by fleck of salt, because you don't want too much salt. And then I put in about, oh goodness, I would say about a good tablespoon of cocoa. Okay, just use the milk chocolate cocoa, unsweetened of course, but one time I made it, I had a little bit of that dark cocoa that's like almost black, and I didn't enjoy it as much. So the lighter cocoa, I think, works a little bit better. But cocoa is very healthy. It's got like 3 carbs. Is it 3 carbs per tablespoon, and 2 of those carbs are fiber. So it's very good. And just stir. I keep mine on high because I just want to get it done fast. So if you got 5 minutes, that's all it takes. 5 minutes, you just stay by the fire. You know how cream is. If you don't watch it, it's going to start rising up the side. I also add in here about a teaspoon, of butter. And that's salt. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. A little bit of vanilla went in there. I'll put it down below for you just to be sure. But please give this a try. Now stir it, just to make sure, again, that it doesn't burn. First of all, you're going to see it start to steam. And as soon as it starts to steam, right behind that steam is going to be bubbles. When it starts to bubbles, then it's going to start to rise up the side. Quickly take it off the fire when it rises, because you don't want it spilling over. And do that 2 times just to make sure that it's nice and hot. And look at this. This is rich. It is creamy. It is chocolatey. It is just sweet, a perfect amount of sweetness. I'm telling you, this is a drink that will keep you on a low-carb diet so that you can lose the weight you need to and be healthy and strong. If you think God doesn't answer your prayers, just look behind me. This property was our prayer for 2 long years. You hear our cows? They were part of our daily prayer for Lou and I as well. He provided everything we asked for in our new farmhouse in the forest. Sometimes waiting for him to provide is often difficult, but never give up on your prayers, your dreams, or your faith in the one who created you. He knows your heart's desire and desperately wants to give it to you in his time, friends, in his time. And now on to supper. Tonight we're going to have some salmon. Yep, I'm looking so forward to it. I love my salmon. It was something I had to learn to love. I didn't like it at first, but I did learn to love it, actually. I'm going to use my cast iron pan. Once again, I tell you, that cast iron pan is my right arm in the kitchen constantly. I use it sometimes 2-3 times a day for something or another. But anyway, I'm going to take these. These are wild caught salmon. I don't buy farm raised fish at all. Always wild caught. It's just so much more healthier. And I put the skin down, and then on the other side, I put a little salt and pepper. I just keep it simple, and a little bit of, or a lot here, oops, of garlic powder and onion powder, and a little bit more butter there. Yeah, you want plenty of butter. Just let it cook for a few minutes, and make sure that one side, the skin gets nice and crispy, crunchy. You know, I end up pulling the skin off anyway. I know it's probably the best part. I know, but I don't know. I just can't do it. So anyway, but I do flavor it. I do anyway, because I think maybe it goes through the fish or something. I don't know. But I added a little bit more butter, and I did add a little bit of, what was that? Oh, lemon slice. Yeah, I use a lot of lemon. I use a lot of lemon, period, but I use a lot, especially when I am cooking up salmon. All right, I'm going to take them off the fire. I turn them over just to make sure they are completely done. I want them to rest just a minute. And while they're resting, I'm going to make a delicious, very easy butter sauce. But it is worth this little extra step. You can do this for salmon, any kind of fish, even shrimp I do it for. You can even do it for chicken, depending upon the seasoning you add to it. Here I'm just adding a little bit of extra butter, and lots of lemon juice. And that's probably about a half of a lemon, I think, worth of juice that I put in here. Sometimes I add parsley, sometimes I add Italian seasoning, and most of the time I add dill, like fresh dill, but I didn't have any today. So I'm just going to go with the butter and the lemon, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to let it sit here for a little bit, and it's on high, and I want it to brown. You want to get the brown butter, because brown butter is a flavor all on its own. So I let it just sit there for just a few minutes till I see it getting golden brown, just like that. Then I know it's done, and it is ready to be served over that delicious salmon. Switch this over to loose plate, and then I will finish up plating up for you. And this is how we do dinner almost every single night. It's a piece of protein. It's generally some kind of a vegetable. And then, of course, it is always sauerkraut. And I'm going to garnish with a little bit more lemon, because I just love lemon in seafood. You know, it's like a classic combination. You just pretty much have to have it. But honestly, if you want to try that lemon butter sauce with a little dill, or maybe even Italian seasoning over shrimp, oh my goodness, not farm raised shrimp, but wild caught shrimp. That's what you want to use. So here we go. I'm going to put in the this is what I do every night. This is what our plates pretty much look like. I mean, it could not be easier. It's like fast food. It really is. Just take some of that now that sauerkraut I made about a month ago, and we are eating off it now, and it is so good. Now, darling, what on earth are you doing here? All right, well, I always start out with a little bit of water and a tablespoon of vinegar in a little glass of water for Lou and I. And let me tell you what that does. We drink that approximately 15 to 20 minutes before our meal. It's a great impact on your glucose levels. It reduces visceral fat. That is the fat that is around the belly. Reduces glucose spiking up to 30%. It works. I've seen it. We never skip it. Use apple cider or even white vinegar is fine. Just don't use the clean vinegars and no balsamic vinegars, because there's a lot of sugar in there. And then, of course, we have broccoli with a little bit more butter and even more lemon sauce on that. Thank you, friends, for joining me today at Super 60 here at our farmhouse in the forest. Please like and subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye now, and Lord bless.